What does your body feel like in zero gravity?
What inspires you to become an astronaut?
What exercise do you do, and do you sweat in space?
Would a yo-yo work in microgravity?
So it works.
Clap, 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 clap.
Good morning and welcome to the final event for NASA's Year of Education on Station. We've had two educators over the course of the past year on board the International Space Station, and we've kept them very busy. And to wrap up the event, we've got a room full of people who helped make it happen, as well as the International Space Station Operations Integration Manager, Kenny Todd, who's going to tell us a little bit later about some of the behind-the-scenes work. But first, we're going to take a look at the video highlighting some of the facts and figures from the past year.
The Year of Education on Station, or YES, featured 64 downlinks.
Yeah, I hear you loud and clear. Welcome aboard the International Space Station.
2 teachers were among the 15 astronauts on station involved in YES.
If you spin a fidget spinner in space, does it just keep spinning?
What is your favorite view from the ISS?
What's the food really like up there?
During the year, more than 1,000 questions were asked by students and teachers from 27 states, plus DC, Puerto Rico, and Canada. One downlink included an international audience and question submissions from Paraguay, Nepal, Kosovo, Madagascar, Guinea, Morocco, Ukraine, and Kyrgyzstan. Astronauts traveled nearly 375,000 miles during YES downlinks. That's more than 1.5 trips to the moon. Over the entire year of education on station, astronauts traveled over 153 million miles. That's more than a return trip from Mars. This year, more than 175,000 students and 40,000 teachers watched education downlinks from all over the world.
So as you can see, it's been a very exciting year, and I think a lot of work went into making it happen. But Kenny, maybe you can tell us a little bit about why this was something important for NASA to do.
Sure. We found ourselves, a year ago in a very, what I'll call a fortuitous sort of situation where we had 2 honest-to-goodness trained educators on board, and they're back-to-back for a full 12-month period. And we thought that's a great opportunity, and working with the Office of Education folks here, decided it would be a great opportunity to do a couple of things. First of all, it gives us an opportunity to say thanks. Thanks to the educators out there. We recognize what you do day in and day out, the care and passion that you bring to your jobs. It's an opportunity through, Thank a Teacher Week and Appreciation Week for our educators to say thanks. Thanks from NASA. Thanks from all of us who do this work day in and day out, because somebody like you helped to make it possible for us to be here. And then second of all, frankly, I think we have probably one of the coolest classrooms that you can have, right? I would say on the planet, but it really is off the planet. So I think I can say, be comfortable in saying it's the coolest, classroom off the planet. But anyway, so just the opportunity to maybe come alongside the educators and say, look, we have a classroom here. We have some things that we can show you. How to explain to your students some of these things that just are only in words and textbooks, and we can demonstrate that. So anyway, that was really the goal, and hopefully we've been able to accomplish that.
I think we'll see maybe that we have accomplished a lot of that. Now, we said that we've had 2 educators on board the space station. They weren't actually up at the same time, and the one who kicked it off wasn't able to be here with us today, but we have a message from him from Russia, and that is astronaut Joe Akaba. We'll see that next.
Hi everyone, I wish I could be with you all today as you celebrate the end of the Year of Education on Station, but I'm tuning in from here in Russia and cheering on Ricky as he wraps up his expedition. Ricky, I know you've been enjoying your time up there on the station and have been able to continue our mission of sending education from the station to classrooms around the world. I wish you safe travels home and can't wait to see you in a few days, buddy. I'll be there to greet you. Have a great day.
That again was Joe Akaba, and we're going to be speaking in just a moment with astronaut Ricky Arnold, who is on board the International Space Station, getting ready to make his way home soon. While we wait for that to kick off, Kenny, would you say that there's anything that you have actually learned during the Year of Education?
You know, every time I hear one of these events over the downlink, it's inspiring to me because the questions that come from the audience, you know, whether it's a group of college students or a group of young folks in an elementary school, it's amazing the level of thought that's gone into it and the oohs and the ahs that you hear, having not been in the audience, but you can hear it in their voice and you can hear it in the crowd. It's again, it's very invigorating for those of us that do this day in and day out.
It is, yes. I think we're just about ready to start.
Station, this is Houston. Are you ready for the event?
The International Space Station is ready for the event.
JC Education, this is Mission Control Houston. Please call station for a voice check.
Station, this is Year of Education on Station. How do you hear me?
Have you loud and clear. Welcome aboard the International Space Station, your venue for the Year of Education on Station.
Ricky, this is JSC Deputy Center Director Vanessa White. Just want to thank you for all you've done this year for Year of Education on Station. It's been quite an amazing year. We have representatives here in the audience from NASA Johnson Space Center. We have people online from headquarters, all the NASA centers, and social media followers all across the globe. We just want to thank you, and we're happy to kick off this event. And here's the very first question.
Hi, Ricky. I bring greetings from Mike Kincaid. This is Diane DeTroy in the Office of STEM Engagement at NASA headquarters, and the first question comes from our colleagues in education down at the Stennis Space Center. What unique perspective do you feel you brought to the table for your mission as someone with a background in education?
Hey, Diane, it's great to hear your voice. You know, we arrived here with the training and the skills required to do the job as an astronaut. I think the unique perspective that I'll carry back and that Joe, Dottie, and Barb carried back is the perspective of an educator who has a professional educator who's worked in the most sophisticated orbiting platform humans have ever built. And to bring that knowledge and the teacher's eyes back to Earth and to be able to share that experience is going to be something that's going to be a really fabulous opportunity for the education community in general. And I think in particular, when we look at how we want to develop students' skills for STEM careers, we've been here, we've been immersed in a culture, I think the preeminent civilian engineering organization or entity that exists on Earth, which is NASA, and to see what skills are really required. And with our background in pedagogy, how do we develop those skills in students? I think that's the real perspective, is the one we can bring back from the International Space Station.
Hi, Ricky. I'm Rachel Berry from the International Space Station Program Science Office. As you wrap up the Year of Education on Station, what is the one thing you want students to know about the science being conducted aboard the orbiting laboratory?
Yeah, the science we do up here on the International Space Station has two purposes. It's to improve life on Earth, and for students sitting in classrooms, we're laying the groundwork for your exploration of the solar system, human exploration of the solar system. And the science is amazing. And apart from the science, I think we're also showing a model of how humans, when they agree to a purpose, can do amazing things together. And when we go to Mars, the first humans who step foot on Mars, it's my belief that we will be representatives of the human race, not of a specific country or region.
Hello, I'm Kim Hojanaki, a physics teacher at Houston ISD. I want to know if your philosophy on education has changed since you've been aboard the ISS.
I don't know that it's changed, but it's certainly re-emphasized some of the things that I believed as an educator when I was in the classroom. Our day-to-day existence up here is solving problems. And so it requires critical thinking, analysis of data, making a hypothesis and how to solve the problem, and then moving forward and measuring whether or not you were successful. The very simple process that is science is just it's a day-to-day experience up here, and so it's re-emphasized those critical skills, critical thinking, and problem solving that make all of this possible.
Hi, Ricky. We're Corahan and Arnold, students at Seabrook Intermediate. Our question is, when did you first decide you were interested in STEM?
Unfortunately, I didn't get to go to Seabrook Intermediate School, but both of my daughters did. And so maybe their interest comes from their experience in the science program there, the STEM program there. Certainly in school, I had teachers going all the way back to elementary school who were really good at exposing students to science and kind of the open-ended nature of science. I think that really motivated me to eventually pursue a career in STEM. I also have to say that I was also highly inspired by the people who worked and lived in space, both in the Apollo program and the early shuttle program when I was a kid. And also those people who explored our oceans, one of the frontiers on our planet, people, Jacques Cousteau.
Hi, Ricky. I'm Dr. Danae Forward from the JSC Office of STEM Engagement. If you were to design lessons to teach from space, what would you choose to teach?
Well, you know, we've had some great lessons designed by people on Earth for us that we've done up here during the year of education on station. And I'm really proud of the work that not only Joe and I, but all of our crew members did to kind of bring the space station to life as a platform for education. One thing I would like to do is to engage students directly as much as possible in some of the science that's actually going up here on space station. We can design demonstrations and student-led experiments, which are great, but to actually get their hands dirty in the process of science and the amazing science that's happening up here on the space station, I think that would be something that would be really profound.
Hi, Ricky. I'm Alex Perryman, an audio engineer who supported most of the education downlinks this year. Could you tell us about the technology that is allowing us to talk to you right now?
Yeah, thank you for that. It's been a wonderful experience spending time with students all across the country and around the world during my stay here. So very much appreciate all the work that you guys have done to make this possible. And as you know, we have a fleet of satellites, the TDRS satellite system, which we use for not only commanding the International Space Station and real-time downlink of data, which is going on around the clock. There's science going on here 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, with data being fed down to principal investigators all around the world, over 100 countries participating. And so that that fleet of satellites, the TDRS system, makes the payload data, the commanding of the International Space Station, and even things like downlinks with school possible.
Hi, Ricky. I'm Dr. Franklin Allaire, and I'm a professor at the University of Houston downtown. And this is my daughter, Eleanor. You want to say hi?
Hi.
I work with
Eleanor.
pre-service teachers, helping them to feel comfortable teaching science. And I wanted to know, what advice would you give to new teachers?
Yeah, I love the name pre-service teachers because you know, they're entering a lifetime of service, and their work is incredibly important and incredibly profound. And they should be proud of the career choice they've made. I certainly understand, just like anyone else who spent time in a classroom, it's an incredibly demanding job. But the rewards at the end of the day, and being able to shape the next generation of explorers is. There's no feeling like it. And the relationships you can build with students and their families, it's just incredibly rich and rewarding experience. For first-time teachers and those starting, stick with it. I don't feel like I was really got my feet underneath of me as a teacher until probably about year 6 or 7. Maybe I was a little bit slow. And I really didn't feel like I really started getting how learning occurs and and how to really reach a diverse group of learners, of individual learners within the classroom, probably until around year 9 or 10. So it's a very demanding job, but it's just so incredibly important, and I'm so thankful that we have so many young people who are choosing that as a lifetime of service.
Hi, Ricky. I'm Jan Larson, the Seabrook Intermediate Clear Creek ISD Science Magnet Liaison. All the teachers at Seabrook do send a shout out to you and your family and the girls. What advice about school and coursework do you have for students who want to pursue a STEM degree or a career?
It is very nice to hear your voice, and I am so thankful for all the hard work that occurred at Seabrook Intermediate School and the public schools in the Clear Lake area. I'm a big believer in our public school system. I am a product of Prince George's County Public Schools in Maryland and the Maryland University Public University system. So I'm so thankful for the program. You got to find what you love and find that thing that makes you want to get out of bed in the morning and go to work, and work will not seem like a job. And do not be intimidated by science and math. We know that through our studies of brain and how brain development occurs, that some kids, the skills for mathematics and science, typically don't develop until sometimes after kids are in middle school, when they really start to get the ability to understand some of the more abstract concepts. So stick with it. Don't let people tell you cannot pursue a degree in the STEM fields, particularly if it's something you love. Your love of your work will provide enough motivation that you can accomplish anything you put your mind to.
Hi, my name is Tatum, and I go to Bay Area Christian School. What are your plans for when you get back to Earth?
Well, your timing is perfect because my friend Drew, Oleg, and I will return to Earth early Thursday morning. And we'll actually be back in Houston early Friday morning. I have my plans. NASA certainly has plans for me for the next 45 days, and most of that will be involved in rehabilitation. We're kind of living science experiments ourselves up here. I talked about the work we're doing to prepare for exploring the solar system. So I'll have lots of appointments with doctors, around the Clear Lake area and at NASA. And then also debriefing, talking about what we learned on this mission, how we can do things better, how I could have done things better. So it'll be a busy couple of months once I get back. After that, there's plenty of work at NASA, and I'm really excited to get back and be a part of this amazing organization that makes this facility possible.
Hi, I'm Connor Morris, an intern at JSC. This question comes from the Office of STEM Engagement at JPL. After all your time on station, how intuitive is it for you to move about, find things, and flow from task to task? Is there anything that is still challenging?
I was thinking about that the other day because you cannot sit anything down up here like you do at home. And I wonder if I'm going to be reluctant when I get home to set my keys on the table for fear that they won't be there when I go to pick them up. It's gotten a lot better. It's one of the more challenging environments I've ever worked in. The keeping track of tools and equipment in a place where Newton's laws are on full display 24 hours a day is really challenging. That being said, I've come up with ways to manage all that. But it's a challenging environment. Most of our equipment was built to work on Earth, when you take it into a new environment, there's just challenges that go along with it.
Hi, Ricky. My name is Liam Camus, and I am in 2nd grade. Do you have any toys on the space station?
We do. We have a few toys up on the ISS. In fact, I think we're the first crew to ever play a tennis match on the International Space Station or in space. My buddy Drew brought up some miniature tennis rackets. He only had 2 of them, and we played doubles. So 2 of us had to use ping pong paddles for tennis. And the fun thing about it was we decided early on that you could hit the ball on either side of the net, since there's really no up or down for us up here. So as long as it got past the net, you were good to go.
Hey Ricky, I'm Paula Vargas, one of the artists here at JSC and designer of the Year of Education on Station logo. The interns at Ames want to know what are some of the challenges during the transition to life on station, especially in terms of confinement and isolation.
It's a beautiful logo. Thank you for doing that. Every time I see it, it's just a really nice thing. You know, the isolation is real. I mean, you're separated from your family and friends, and kind of control over your life for the 197 days we'll be up here. That being said, we believe why we're here is important, and so when you're doing something you believe in and you're doing something that you think is important, the challenges kind of seem inconsequential as long as you can reach your goal. I think about pre-service teachers. That's kind of the message I'd like to share with them. I mean, if they believe what they're doing is important, there's going to be challenges, and keep plugging ahead until you reach your goal. Confinement, I get asked that question a lot, and the space station's huge. It is about the internal volume of a jumbo 747, and we only have 6 people up here. So there's plenty of room for us to live and work and relax. And having ample windows makes a huge difference. It's kind of interesting. During my time here, I feel like I've traveled to locations on the planet that I will never, ever see in real life. Flying over French Polynesia, and I saw Antarctica, the Antarctic Peninsula yesterday, and I'll probably never get there. But having that opportunity to just gaze at Earth and see new places from a vantage point of 240 miles up, confinement doesn't really become a big deal. When I'm heading home, I'm coming home in a Soyuz, which is a really small spacecraft. I only have to be in there for a few hours on Thursday, but that is a very confining space, and I'm glad I don't have to do that for 197 days. But I guess we would figure out a way to make it work.
Hi, Ricky. My name is Sarosh Nandwani, and I'm an intern at JSC at the Neutral Buoyancy Laboratory. What is it like to step out of the airlock for a spacewalk?
Yeah, it's the one thing the NBL can't recreate is that first view of Earth from coming out of the airlock. I'll never forget on our last spacewalk, I think it was, we're coming out, you've got 6.5 hours plus worth of work that you're trying to keep fresh in your mind because you know you've got a lot to do. On top of that, you're responsible for kind of controlling your own personal spacecraft, which is your EMU or your spacesuit. And then you come out of the hatch, and Drew and I were sitting there staring at each other. The sun came up, and he's just there, and I'm looking at him. The Earth's behind him, and I could see the Volga River Delta in the Caspian Sea, just this beautiful green, lush delta, kind of at his feet. And I'm trying to keep all the work that I have to do in mind and take care of my spaceship. But it's just such an overwhelming sense of place. I took a quick picture, and then we moved on to work. But it's a feeling you will never forget.
Hey Ricky, Kenny Todd here. It's great to see you and great to talk to you. As you said, in 48 hours you'll be back home on planet Earth. And in addition to that, we're concluding the Year of Education on Station. As you reflect on that, if you could leave something behind to represent the Year of Education on Station, what would it be?
Hey, Kenny, great to hear your voice. Yeah, this is a tough question. I think the body of work we left behind hopefully shows what an amazing venue and what an amazing platform the International Space Station is for education. As you well know, we're only as good, NASA's only as good as our pipeline of workers. And so utilizing this amazing facility for education, if it can inspire students and teachers to pursue careers in STEM and to come be a part of this journey, I think that would be a pretty amazing legacy that we left behind. This is a wonderful facility for science, but it is every bit as wonderful for education.
Hi, Ricky. My name is Amanda Hines, and I am with Microsoft. And I am wondering, what is it like to fly on the Soyuz?
Yeah, my only comparison was to the space shuttle, and I've heard it the comparison made that the space shuttle on launch, you're kind of it's just this big giant machine. You're carrying up a huge payload. It rumbles, it shakes, and it's just an immense feeling of power. And but then when you land, it's kind of like landing in a commercial airliner. We landed on a runway in Florida. It was a very smooth landing and a very easy return to Earth. The Soyuz was a bit like a sports car coming to orbit. It was just sleek and a very smooth ride, just every bit as fast as the space shuttle, but you just didn't have that kind of rumbling sensation leaving planet Earth. However, our ride back home, which I have not experienced, but I will tell you about after Thursday, is supposed to be quite a wild ride. We will be descending under in a ball of fire, and then parachutes will deploy, and the vehicle will be swinging around in multiple directions. And then the very end, I think, has been described as a series of explosions followed by a car crash. So it will be nothing like nothing like landing on a runway in Florida. But I've heard it's probably one of the most exciting rides you could ever have. So I'm really looking forward to it.
I think we have a few words to wrap up from Debbie Condor right here.
Ready? Hey, good morning, Ricky. I just wanted to say thank you. I'm the Director of External Relations at the Johnson Space Center, and I want to thank you and your crewmates for the incredible year of education on station. From downlinks to demonstrations to completing Krista McAuliffe's lessons, you all have done an amazing job for us as we have put forth this year of education on station, and so we just thank you very much. I just wanted to say safe travels to you on your way back to Earth, and we look forward to seeing you back on Earth in a few days. Thank you, Ricky.
Thank you, Ricky. Thanks so much, Debbie, everyone, for joining us today. And hopefully this year of education today is just, another step. And we will continue the work up here to inspire children and students around the world to pursue careers that will enable them to come join us on this remarkable journey as we work here in low Earth orbit and head out into the solar system.
Station, this is Houston ACR. That concludes the event.
Thank you to all participants from JSC Education. Station, we are now resuming operational audio communications.
Our 64th and final downlink event for the Year of Education on Space Station. And as the educational organizations get ready for events like this, they build special plans to get their school and local community involved. Here we have next a look at what one middle school did to make an impact.
Being the first New York City public school to participate in NASA's Year of Education on Station was the most unimaginable experience ever to take place in our school. This happens all because one student inspired me to pursue the opportunity. Everything he loved, imagined, and dreamed about space was brought to a realization during this educational downlink. His dream inspired an event that energized an entire school community and had an infinite impact on everyone who viewed, attended, or contributed to it. Thank you, NASA. We are all STEM inspired by you.
The downlink meant the world to me. I've always wanted to be an astronaut since I was a little girl, and getting to speak to a real-life astronaut it really touched me really deep.
And we had the opportunity to talk to Ricky Arnold live on the International Space Station. It was truly a wonderful event for our students. They were able to ask questions, experience really what it's like to be a space explorer.
The downlink showed me that the people that I wanted to be actually have accomplished things, and I could do it too.
One educational event during the Year of Education on Station particularly inspired hope for students and the community. Joe Acaba spoke with students in Puerto Rico a few months after Hurricane Maria made landfall there.
I never imagined such a phenomenon could happen right here in my doorstep.
We had no water, no food, no gasoline, no communication at all.
We wanted to pull through, forget all that happened, and lift up our spirits and lift off the island.
This is Joe aboard the International Space Station. I have you loud and clear.
I aspire to be someone like him that inspires other people to do their goals and dreams.
I want to be like him. I want to go far, and I want to be an example for little kids when I'm older.
And he really motivated me to pursue engineering as a career. And really, I saw that that's where I want to go.
And before we wrap up, we have one final testimonial about what these education events mean for the students and communities involved. That's the last of our event today. Thank you so much for participating in the Year of Education on Space Station. You can share your favorite moments from the year, your goals for studying STEM or pursuing STEM careers, or how you'll use Year of Education on Station content in your classroom by tweeting to @NASA. And thank you again for being part of this special event.
Welcome to the International Space Station.
Space is unique, and space gives us an opportunity to learn things that we can't learn on the Earth.
It's something called surface tension. And so the neat thing is, at dinner time, I can put my lemonade on my hand and drink it very slowly.
Work hard, challenge yourself, but the main thing is don't give up on yourself.
Set your goals high, find a job that you love, and find some work that you love, and that will allow you to do really well and make you more competitive.
Don't fear failure. That failure is your time, it's your moment to learn how to do it better.
We'd like to have fun up here. My favorite thing is trying to see how far I can fly through the middle of the space station without bumping into a wall.
And see, you can move around very easily.
Three, two, one, blast off.